Hi, I'm Sam. I'm product manager from Beavertown Brewery, and I'm here to talk to you about the latest release from our Tempus project, the High Priestess, which is a Gose aged in terracotta amphora, fermented with a natural wine yeast. Now, Gose is a sour style of beer from Leipzig in Germany. Very similar to another style of beer from Germany, the Berliner Weisse. The difference between the two of them obviously is the location, but also Gose uses sea salt and coriander as part of the base recipe, something that we've stayed true to in this. And as I mentioned, it's fermented in a terracotta amphora. Now, an amphora is a vessel used in ancient winemaking, still used very much to this day, particularly in Eastern Europe. And it's a big clay vessel, big terracotta vessel that they normally bury halfway up in the ground, and that helps regulate the temperature during fermentation. Now, ours sits in our barrels project, and we use it to ferment down lots of different styles of beer. And as I mentioned, this one has used a natural wine yeast rather than a beer yeast to kind of give it a wine-like character. So, let's give it a taste. Now, as you can see, I've poured it quite aggressively, and that is to get plenty of head on the beer. Always look to get plenty of head on your beer. It is where all the flavour and the aroma is locked in, and because of the style of beer this is, it's relatively low carbonation, so the head will recede. You'll see it's receding already, but that is where all of the flavour is. That is where all of that aroma is, so it's locked in there. So let's get our nose in and give it a sniff. Oh, okay, so you get loads and loads of lemon. You get hints of puffed wheat, and then a honeysuckle sweetness, but it's very, very wine-like. You know, that it really does remind you of something like a Muscadet sur Lie, which is a wine from the Loire Valley in northern France, aged on the dead yeast cells to kind of give it a creaminess. Muscadet sur Lie is the, coastal variation of Muscadet, so it's a wine that carries lots of natural minerality. So let's give it a taste. Wow. It's really nice and sharp. It's kind of cooking apple fresh, and that sourness is nice and smooth. Really kind of coats your mouth. It's got a really silky mouthfeel. You get more of that lemon, kind of like bright Amalfi, sort of Sicilian lemon with the cooking apple. Really lifts it, and then you've got this really beautiful kind of pebble beachy minerality, almost sort of ozone-y, that carries right the way through the beer. And then at the end you go into kind of umami, so those kind of umami flavors of, obviously you get the sea salt come through, but you also get the coriander, just a hint of that kind of herbal coriander, and then you get kind of green olive, real kind of green olive, just umami savouriness, which is beautiful on the finish. And that mouthfeel, as I mentioned, nice and smooth, and that you get that quality from the beeswax just kind of coating your tongue. I mean, it really is great. You absolutely would treat this beer as you would a white wine. If you're thinking about something to eat with it, you can't look beyond mussels. Nice pot of mussels, steamed mussels, obviously in either white wine or in the beer. They normally say, use the white wine that you're drinking when you cook your mussels. Well, use the beer that you're drinking when you cook your mussels. That it will work absolutely beautifully. Otherwise, something like a scampi and chips. So, cheeky scampi and chips, lemon, chips, that fried fish. This will really lift it. So anything that you would normally have with seafood, if you're having seafood, instead of thinking about a white wine, give this a go. It's just the way that kind of sourness, it's really all-encompassing. But I don't kind of want to put you off. It is a really nice rounded sourness. It's not harsh at all. It just really envelops your tongue, and it keeps it frisky and it keeps it fresh. So that's it. That's the lot. High Priestess from the Tempus project. Gose, aged in terracotta amphora. It's 5.2%. So if you want to get hold of it, check out our website, beavertownbrewery.com. It's on our web store now, and it is really worth it. Get yourself a case of 6, get yourself a case of 12. All the beers from our Tempus project really are suited to aging, so you don't need to get it like you do with our normal beers and drink it in the first 2 or 3 weeks. You can get hold of it, you can keep hold of it for a year, you can keep hold of it for 2 years. It will just keep developing in bottle. These things are suited to aging, and they really benefit from it. Wow, that is a great beer. I'm going to keep drinking it. Cheers.